Hi, welcome to the high number installment of my 1952 top set that I'm getting rid of. Um, as you see, well, Topps high numbers were interesting because they're a little harder to get because when in 1952 the last series um, was guess tough to sell in the stores, and they actually got rid of a lot of them. Topps did. I think they even threw them out into the ocean or something. So these are all pretty sought after. On the sixes, on the PSA 6 grading system, anything over a six, it commands at least a few $100s. The stars even in the thousands. Most serious collectors they want at least a six, unless the card's really hard to get. Maybe like the mantle. And everyone knows the mantle, the high numbers start from number 311 to 407. And we're here with number 312. Why? Because I don't have the mantle. A mantle in the number this Robinson's actually an 8, but a mantle even in a 5 or a 6 at this time in 2014 in December would be about $30,000. I didn't really feel like paying that for a piece of cardboard. As it is, this Robinson was pretty tough to get because the centering is really hard. Most Robinsons are cut really tough on the side. Usually not a border all the way around it. This was probably the best card I have in all of my 1952 tops. Could be $7,000, $8,000. So I was most proud of this. I'm going to be sad to see it go. He looks very happy there, and now I have to say goodbye, sad. And I'm sad. Yes. After him, we got a Bobby Thompson who hit the big home run everyone's happy about. And I hit it off of Ralph Branca, which is also in the set. Again, the centering's really good. You can see like a little bit of touch in the border. And I don't know what they call that. It does affect the value a little bit, but most people seem to like the centering. And again, it's a 7, so anything over a 6 in a high number is always like really tough to get. But people do like 6s in my experience. This is another really hard card, a Hall of Famer Roy Campanella. It's an 8, so this is a several $1,000 card. And the centering's okay, it could be better, but 8s are really tough. It's an old label. A lot of people like to resubmit the labels to get the new label. But that's about it. It's a tough card. It'll be one of the next to the Jackie Robinson is probably one of my best cards in the set. This is another Hall of Famer as a manager, Leo DeRocha, and it's a 6, and the centering is really hard to get. The centering is really hard on like number 311 and 310, including the mantle, like 310 to like 320 or something. Those are like really tough to find in good centering. The best thing about this card, 318, is the centering. It's really hard to get, I was saying. It's a 6, but this is a very easy card to sell if you wanted to. Not because of anything about the player, but this is centering so good. Another thing with this is also sort of like the tough high number, Rutherford. The centering happens to be really good on this card as well, which is very hard to get on this card. And he's a Dodger. This card could be almost $1,000. Randy Jackson, not part of the Jackson 5, but it is an 8, which is tough to get, and centering is good. A lot of the high numbers made these like regular guys famous, you know. Bubba Church sounds almost like a football player, and you know, it's a high number, so he's famous forever. This isn't a wrapper. I don't know why. I probably bought it, forgot to take it off, but don't think it's for anything, any other reason. It's an 8, which is hard to get in the high number. Here's a horizontal with the clouds in the background. I don't know if Bill Serena is on a cloud or is we looking from the bottom up. Looks like those clouds are mid-level clouds. Here's Bob Borkowski, which is actually a tough card to get
That one is
centered.
no clouds.
Yeah, that's right. Well, there are no clouds with him. So maybe that's why he's looking. Well, I guess it's not going to be raining. No clouds for him. Here's Ivan Dalak. The centering's terrific on it. And it's an 8.
I like the dimples.
Yeah, see his dimples. It has a little bit of makeup, it looks like, maybe. Turk Loin. I don't know, but, you know, people always talk about the Turks, so he's one of them. Tony Baritrom. It sounds like you'd have a really low voice. And when he speaks...
Baritone.
Oh, I thought it's Baritrom. Pee Wee Reese is well known, famous shortstop with the Dodgers. I bought this at an auction house. He befriended Jackie Robinson, and you can see it in the movie. He's a Hall of Famer. This is also a card that has a little extra weight. I don't know if you see any of the other videos, but the PSA that is the one grading these, they assign different weights, like a weighted GPA, and this card happens to have a little extra weight to it. So here's Ted Lepsio. He's in front of the fans. There's not too many there. Maybe it's spring training. Dave Coslow. I bought this from a dealer. Jim Hearn. That looks like a nice photograph. How come DMV photographs never look like that? Looks pretty good. Sal Ivars. This is a really tough card to get centered. Oh, there he is. It's a tough card to get centered. As you see, he has an interesting name. Ivars. Move these around. Russ Meyer. Good centering. Bob Hooper. This almost sounds like an 80s show, like Leave It to Hooper. No, Hooper sounds like he's like a teacher or janitor. I don't know. Give it to Hooper. Hal Jeffcoat. Sounds Jeffcoat. Used to be a Jim Jeffcoat on the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think they're related. Clem Labine. What I like about it, he's a Dodger. It almost sounds like Lovine, so that would make it cool, but it's Clem Labine. Richard Gernert. Don't know if he went by the name Richard.
Probably Dick.
People like this Blackwell. There's a little extra hard to find him. It's a, I think the higher grades are tougher to find. And this card would pretty much signify a lot about the set, because his name is White. Most of the players are whites. Here's George Spencer. That also sounds like an 80s TV show. Spencer. I think they're Spencer for Hire, right? Bob Kelly. No clouds. He seems happy. He's getting closer to you. Frank Crosetti. He's a manager. There's always bidding wars for these cards. Herman Franks. Why are you so down, Herman Franks? He doesn't seem very happy.
Sweet, serious.
I am sad. Eddie Uhouse. This guy looks like he's like, you don't want to cross him. He looks tough. I like the centering on this card too. This guy does not look like a baseball player. There's quite a few cards here that you'll see that the people are 60 years old. They're managers. Billy Meyer. Here's one of my rare like low fives. Just because it's a tough card to get, the centering's really hard. This is actually not badly centered for a Bob Chipman. Glenn Nelson. Look at the centering, it's very hard. I bought it raw, so I didn't have to pay very much. I think I paid like $80 for it. Ben Chapman. Sounds like Chipman. It's very he's got like a halo behind him. Like those old paintings. Here's a Hall of Famer, Hoyt Wilhelm. I think he threw a knuckleball. So knuckle-lit ball. A knuckleball spoon. That's a Hall of Famer. That's a pretty high value card. Ben Wade. I bought this card raw as well. That's why the centering's not great. It's actually pretty bad. Ebba St. Clair. It's only about, their high numbers are 311 to 407. I'm assuming people who are watching this know a lot about the cards already, more than I know. This is a Hall of Fame manager, Billy Herman, Dodgers. This is a high value card, probably over $1,000 because it's an 8. This guy does not look like a player, Jake Pitler, Dodgers. Do you want that guy on first base? This guy looks cool. He's the coolest looking one of them all. Dick Williams.
Yes.
He just looks like
good
he's
looking,
good
too.
looking. I remember him as an old grumpy manager in the 80s. Always taking his team to the playoffs but not winning, actually. But he's like a cool guy. He looks cool. He's a Hall of Famer, too. Before there was Forrest Gump, there was Forrest Mann. So when he ran, literally they would say, "Run, Forrest, run," because he would be running. We're almost at 10 left. This is the impossible card to get centered. That's why this is also a 5. And that's actually not bad for this card, but usually that's worse. Hal Rice. This card is great centered. It's a 7. The 8s are really expensive. There's not many of them, so the 7s are really expensive. Fridley. Here's another Hall of Famer on the Yankees, Bill Dickey. That's a $1,000 card too. There's all the cards just fell and broken. Here's Bob Schultz, 401, number an 8. Earl Harris. This was an expensive card. Bill Miller, high number, 403. Oh, here is 404. And there's one more. I have a, this is Brodowski, well centered. I also have a Joe Nuxall too. It has a yellow background. And I guess we'll have to stop from there. I'll put them on the next, we'll start them off on the next video. I have a really nice Joe Nuxall, 406. 407 is, we'll just put the card here. 407, which is not this card, is actually Eddie Matthews, and that's a really expensive card. I don't have that one. So we'll just have Dick Brodowski take us to the break of the video.
Done?
Yeah.